Welcome to Africa Media Australia. My name is Clyde Salum Mushradi, and I have today in the studio Dr. Mohamed Ababulgu, and we're just going to have a chat about himself and some of the things he does. Welcome to the studio, Dr. Mohamed.
Thank you very much, Clyde.
How are you today?
I'm very good.
All right, I've got a number of questions that I ask almost all of my guests, and the first one is, tell us a bit more about yourself.
Sure, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
You said my name is Mohamed Ababulgu, and you have pronounced it very, very well.
Thanks very much.
Thank you for that. I was born in Jimma. That is a town in the western part of Ethiopia, in the state of Oromia. Oromia is one of the states, in Ethiopia, the Federal Republic of Ethiopia. I did my primary education, secondary education in Jimma, very beautiful town. And I did my first degree as well, in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa, from Addis Ababa University, and worked, as a graduate assistant for some time before moving to Australia.
Wow. And when was that? When did you come to Australia?
I came to Australia in November 1989.
That's been a long time.
It has been a long time, and we were very, very rare, species, back then.
Absolutely. How many Ethiopians or Africans do you recall having seen when you came through?
To be honest, people from our area, were about 30 or 40, and overall people from Horn of Africa were in hundreds, not even, maybe maximum, about 1,000. For that matter, the first Africans arrived here in Australia in mid-1980s. It was about 84, 85. I hear that, there was one African guy who came here to do his education at ANU, in the 60s or 70s. But Africans as migrants started coming
in the 80s.
In the 80s, about 84, 85.
All right. Tell us a bit more about your community. People.
Look, that is really a bit, too large. I mean, it's
your community here in Australia.
Here in Australia, I can put this. As you know, Ethiopia is a very large country. It has got about 85 million people, with also about 80 different...
Oh, 85. I didn't know Ethiopia had that many people.
Oh, some people say it is even 90 million.
Oh, really?
But it is the second largest...
most populous.
Most populous, nation in Africa.
After Nigeria.
After Nigeria.
Yes.
I mean, we used to be number 3, now we are number 2. We are more populous than Egypt.
Wow.
So Ethiopia, for that matter as well, we do have about 80, different ethnic groups in Ethiopia, and I belong, to the Oromo ethnic group. Ethiopia, my mother tongue is Afan Oromo, but I speak also Amharic, so I can communicate, to any person, to most people, who come from Ethiopia. So for that matter, here we do have also different communities, like from Ethiopia, you do have Harari community, you do have a Tigrayan community, and so on. And we do have like that as well, Oromo community as well, here in Ethiopia. And there is also a larger, probably, organization as well, like Ethiopian Association as well.
How many, what are the main communities? You mentioned the Oromo community.
The Oromo community, Harari community, and also we do have the Tigrayan community, and also there is like a big umbrella Ethiopian community as well. So, I mean, due to, the sheer number of people,
people could be like
here,
100 groups.
100 groups, you cannot really put,
it
will be too large. Like, if you do have days or wedding, now, you can't really invite all people. You only invite, some people that, very close friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Tell us about your journey in Australia, since you've been in Australia.
Oh, yeah, that's really good. I mean, I came to Australia in 1989, as I said, in November. I was single, bachelor, but after that, I got married to a very beautiful woman, energetic, inspirational, you name it, Very, very happily married with 2 daughters. But look, as an African, even now, most of us, we give emphasis to education. We love education. I don't know why. And always, my ambition was to get, better education. And I think that could be also one of the reasons why I left Ethiopia, other than, other problems as well. So I continued, my studies. I did, my master's degree at Monash University. And then I did my doctoral study at Victoria University. I specialize in financial crisis. that is not personal financial crisis, or it is not the macro financial crisis. It's a business crisis, small business financial crisis. So
Okay.
how to help, when small businesses become bankrupt due to some disastrous, incidents like fire or
Yes.
flood or storm or whatever. I go in, it's just like, a patient coming, to a hospital,
So you are like a financial fireman.
Sort of. Yes. Yeah.
All right.
So I do that. So, but basically, I look at my life in Australia, in three different phases.
Yes.
I mean, apart from I spent a lot of time on my studies, like going to universities, writing my thesis, writing a book as well.
Oh, yeah?
I've got one book as well.
Well, maybe next time we should talk about the book that you've written.
I mean, it is still on Amazon, and you can Google it and you can buy it. It's about financial crisis.
Okay, well,
But,
we'll put it on the website, and then we'll talk about it next time you come in.
Sure. And I put it in three different phases, my life here in Australia. The first phase was from 1990 to 2000, when I was working in superannuation industry.
Yeah.
Which is also, like a bit about fund accounting, investment, superannuation administration, and so on.
Yes.
Actually, I worked hard for 10 years in that area. It was quite laborious back then.
Yeah.
Computers were not, like internet was still, in infancy.
Rudimentary.
Yeah, in
Yes.
infancy and so on. So that part I hated doing. That fund accounting and superannuation and
Not
so
anymore.
on. Not anymore. Left that one.
Yeah.
So started working, for us as a risk management and insurance consultant.
Mm-hmm.
That is why I was also, I specialized, in financial crisis.
Okay.
So that also lasted for about 10 years. So since 2011, I'm a businessman. Some people say it is a midlife crisis, but I say
Well,
it's awakening.
Well, if it's a crisis, as long as there's money into the process,
Don't worry, I can manage it.
you can be on fire man anyway. So that's good. So what sort of business you involved in? Mostly still in finance, or?
Yeah, still, what the current one is also, it's more financial related. And that I always think that one way of even helping businesses in Africa, improving the life of Africans and improving our life is through also financial transaction.
Yeah.
And I know that there are a lot of people who are involved in many remittance business.
Yeah.
But I feel that we can make, like my group, the company that I work for, or we established with a group of friends, is called Asgori Money Express.
Okay.
And what we do is that we remit business to Africa. In sport, what they call, there is home and away games.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the home game is now to have a niche market, concentrate on that market.
Mm-hmm.
The market, Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda, and
Sudan.
Djibouti, South Sudan,
Yes.
and so on. We love to go to Somalia, but I think there is a big competition, so it's very hard. So develop your business on the home ground.
Yes.
And then move, to the rest of Africa, and then as well, if possible, like Western Union, conquer, the whole world.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna do.
How is because I've seen, I did a documentary not so long ago about business in Footscray, and I've seen there's a lot of shops, a lot of businesses opening that do remittance.
Yeah.
It's growing fast. Tell us a bit more about that. Why is that viable business for Africans?
It's not only for Africa. I think it is for two reasons.
Okay.
Number one, the number of Africans is also increasing in this country,
Yep.
in Australia. So as the number increases, service providers also increase. It gives you an opportunity, to provide service.
And people send money to the...
Secondly, people also send money. And also, Africa is not like the old days. People want action. We want to be part of the action in Africa. If you take, for example, Ethiopia is one of the fastest growing economy in the world.
Yeah.
So even those Ethiopian people here, they want to be part of the action over there. That is where you think you can make money. Therefore, you send money. To make money, you have to spend money.
Exactly.
So these are two reasons.
Yeah.
But other than that, basically the business is not an easy business. There are a lot of legislative requirements, even here. I mean, the Australian government and other Western governments as well are worried about like money laundering
Yes.
and,
And
terrorism financing,
Yes.
and also now people smuggling as well.
Yeah.
So when you send money, you have to be really a responsible person, a good citizen, and make sure that you do it, in accordance with the law.
Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty good. Maybe on a later occasion we can talk more about how this business it's going. But overall, tell us. You've been in Australia for so long. You've seen Africans starting businesses and really developing that in that area. Do you think that it's an area that is really working well right now?
Okay. Look, overall, when you look at Australia is really a great country, a country that has accepted us and has offered us also a lot of opportunities, abundant resources, and also if we look at Australia now in year 2012 or whatever, 2012, it's different from Australia in 1999 or 1990, when we arrived.
Yes.
So there is a conducive environment.
Yes.
For Africans. But as Africans, we do have also challenges.
Yes.
Challenges like, the previous migrants, who came to this country. The Italians, the Greeks, the Asians, they went through some challenges
That's
as
right.
well. So at the moment, we face some challenges. But that does not mean that, we as Africans, we cannot, achieve, our dream. Yes, we can. But how can we do that? I mean, we can do it in different ways. To me, what I think is that, first of all, we have to move on. I believe we have moved on.
And what do you mean to move on?
When I say move on, when we left Ethiopia, Congo, Somalia, or whatever, we had our own troubles. There are some reasons why we have left.
Yes.
We don't need to bring those problems over
Inside
here
here
and live in those problems and just perpetuate, those problems.
Yes.
So we need, to move on. Secondly, we need to think we are Australians. Because unless you think you are part of this country, you are Australian and so on, you cannot really do what you can do. Because always, we don't need to go to job interviews, we don't need to go to start a business, to go to offices, feeling that we are Africans, we are blacks, and therefore we are Muslims, therefore, we cannot be accepted.
Find all those reasons to stop you to
stop doing these things. So we need to be positive. So to me, really, as Africans, we are doing well in terms of education and so on, but in terms of business, we are not doing a lot.
Yeah.
But the two key success factors, to any, the two main factors for any community to develop, education and business, are important. Therefore, we have to increase our participation, in business. Education, okay. But we need also, to increase our participation in social activities as well. And I'm talking about sport and culture as well, why not music and so on. And then politics as well.
Absolutely.
I think, one day we need, I think, I know that, last time during the election, a by-election, at the Melbourne by-election, an African guy, he stood, like
Dr. Burhan.
Dr. Burhan,
Yes.
Ahmed stood, as an independent candidate.
Yes.
We need more Africans, to come as well, to that political field as well.
Yes.
So if you do that, and especially, we need to think positive. We need to have good emotional intelligence, not only the professional skills,
Yes.
not only, the...
Because that's one area where there's got a lot of issues, emotional intelligence.
That is absolutely important. Without emotional intelligence, it is really, really hard, to achieve, anything. So think positive, move on, and increase participation. We will be there.
Absolutely. Maybe before we wrap this up for today, and you've just given some advice generally to Africans there, and that's actually ties in very well with our philosophy at AMA. We want to showcase the positive things, encourage people to be positive, to put themselves out there for the good reasons, and we also want to encourage better communication between us Africans as well as the rest of mainstream Australia. There's been recently some issues with young people, and we've had some media attention, crime related to some South Sudanese and Somali youth. What advice can you give to young people?
I think for our youngsters, as I said, the most important thing is education. Education is important. And also, thinking, this positive is important. The other thing is that we lack role models.
Yeah.
Really, the biggest problem is that we need to have more youngsters, coming out, even elders coming out, serving, as a good role models.
How do we do that, Dr. Mohammed? How do we get the role models to really be sort of available out there?
I think one thing is this sort of outlet is very, very important, putting it, and if we do have this sort of media available to us, try, to bring more people, not only Mohammed, there are a number of successful Africans in this country.
Yes.
But what we need is that we need to bring them here and show them, to our young people, to our, elders, to our, women, children, and everybody. So if they see that, Mr. Anderson is successful, then, they want to try, to be like that. So we need really to learn from those. Even, I think there is now a South Sudanese guy who plays footy, previously, Majak.
Yes.
Bring him here and show him. And
Yes.
there is a successful model, for example, a girl,
Yes.
bring her here.
Yes.
So we need as well, to all different aspects of life, not in one area, not business, not education, but in sport, in culture, in different ways. If we bring those and show, it's important. The other things, the elders should be also leading by example.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we don't lead, by example, how can we really try, our children, our young people,
Mm-hmm.
to do good, to be good,
That's right.
I mean, you cannot really say, do as I say, no, that does not work,
Yes.
You have to show them doing it and get them to do it as well.
Talk the walk, walk the talk.
That's it, walk the walk.
All right, I'm really happy having a chat with you, and I wish we had more time to even talk more. But I'm sure we will have you on another occasion to continue to talk more, because we also really wanting to push the agenda out there. So we will certainly want to see you again next time and continue to talk about these issues.
Very good. Yeah, with internet, like these days, we don't need a lot of money, to put out, information.
Yes.
I mean, so easy, but we need people dedicated like yourself, happy and capable of doing things, to show to the world. I mean, we should be leading by example, even, Africans in other countries as well, not only in Australia,
Yes.
probably New Zealand, Germany, Italy,
Absolutely, and they should learn from us in Australia.
For sure.
Dr. Mohammed, I found you here outside of your shop, and I see there are a lot of countries that you send money to. Tell us a bit more about that.
Sure. Yeah, this is Abdullah, one of our team members, and these are the different countries to which we send money. We specialize in Ethiopia, South Sudan, Kenya, Uganda, Sudan, and to a certain extent Somalia as well. We are very competitive in terms of our price, and secondly as well in terms of our reliability. We are very, very fast, and we give personalized service. People don't have to make a telephone calls either in Ethiopia or in Kenya or wherever we send money. Our representatives will be there on the ground contacting people and delivering services.